Mathai HPE. We've known each other for many, many years. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. First time?
Yes, first time, yeah.
Yeah. Virgin on the radio?
On Virgin on the radio.
Or the TV,
true, yeah.
whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Well, good to see you, mate. Always a pleasure. We can talk about AI today.
Oh, good.
But I want you to introduce yourself.
Sure.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Not too much. We're not that interested, but we're fairly interested. Yeah. So talk about yourself.
So, Mathai Philip, I run the HPC and AI business.
That's high performance computing.
High performance computing and AI business within HPE.
Right. Okay.
For UKI, MEA, and Southern Europe.
Right. Okay.
So
that includes Malta.
That includes Malta.
That was what we wanted to hear. So yeah.
I'm really interested in Malta now.
Yeah. As you should be.
Yes.
It's my favourite place in the world, which is how it should be. Right. Okay.
Apparently, Malta has the highest number of AI startups in a square kilometre.
Right. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. The government there is dynamic. So they really got onto the blockchain side.
Right.
Probably didn't work as much for them as they hoped. They've really got into this side, and with the way they treat foreign companies, there's real advantages to go there. It's why the iGaming industry is there, and everything that goes around that, affiliates, aggregators, games providers, etc. And so it's a very innovative place to be. So we find it very exciting. We've got our main office is there. Although we say HQ is London, our main office, our biggest office is, and where most of our money comes from is Malta.
Right.
So it's a really exciting place. I mean, we were there this week.
Okay.
We were talking to clients actually about AI, and everyone's talking it. Yeah, so that's one of the things. Everyone's been talking it for a year, but everyone we're talking to, people we're talking to, don't seem to have moved on too much. So it's back in the old days, what's your cloud strategy? And nobody had one then.
Yeah.
And now they're saying the same thing now, so they've got to devise. So how do you see where we are today? I'll tell you what, question is, where we were a year ago, difference today, where we're going to be in 3 years' time? Just generally, yeah? Because you do this every single day.
Sure.
Yeah?
So AI is not a new topic,
No,
right?
absolutely.
It's been, AI as a technique has been there, used since 1948.
Yeah.
Right? So what has changed is deep learning has come in.
Yep.
And that has enabled, leverage the techniques of deep learning to go and integrate massive amount of data and drive insights. So one manifestation of that is the large language model.
Yeah.
And ChatGPT, which I think that's what happened, is it a year and a half now?
Yeah.
That basically created or made it simple for people to understand what AI can do for you.
What it can do for you.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, before we were talking about very specific AI use cases.
Usually pharma, wasn't it? Medical,
correct.
I'd say, was the
medical, computer vision. Using cameras to do analytics. But the whole new part of AI, that's what we call as generative AI. So that's what has been created with the advent of companies like ChatGPT. And made it really easy to understand and accessible.
Yep.
Right?
Okay.
So,
but that large language model they've created is pretty much everything, isn't it? It's not company specific. So we're talking something different here, aren't we?
Correct. And what's interesting is ChatGPT is only one of the large language model. There are now, Facebook has created one called Llama, and there's multiple large language models being created, and also now very domain specific language models being created. There's actually a community. So domain specific is very specific around medical data.
Right, okay.
Or, right, I'll give you an example. Bloomberg created a large language model based on the financial information they have. Right?
So this is generative. So they would have gone back through all the old charts, all the old trends, etc. So that's generative because you're generating reports or whatever from old information or up to today. Yeah, got you. Yeah.
And that's actually the the interesting bit. Until now, everybody is in this race to build the biggest large language model, right? And there are multiple applications we can talk about it. And what's now interesting is now people are coming out with small language models.
Yeah, okay.
Like very specific to...
Are they called small language models?
Or do you still... I just made it up. I must have done a generative thing. I think it's called a small language model.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And it's to... and now you will see...
And that's with the domain. That's within a company for company specific?
No. Again, generic small language model, right? For maybe for a particular thing, right? It's could be for research into protein discovery.
Right, okay.
It could be for autonomous driving, right?
Yeah.
So very, very domain specific, and that's where we see more and more value is going to come in, right?
Yeah.
So where are companies now, right? In this, they are in this phase of, you mentioned about cloud, right? Yeah. Everybody wants to do cloud but don't know what to do about it.
Yeah, we're talking 10, 15 years
Correct.
when we first met.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's in a similar phase now. And I actually see there's like 3 types of customers in So one is people who have like a very small subset who have really taken on this and has gone like really deep.
Right, okay.
Right? And they are...
Research companies, things like that.
Research companies, financial services, especially, in the asset management, hedge funds,
Hedge, okay.
A lot of them...
Almost what we called algorithmic trading, back in the day,
Correct. And they've,
current, I suppose.
A lot of, startups and, pharma companies, they've taken this technology, and it's also, companies who are like really want to go cutting edge and deployed it and generating revenue on this. Then you have the other extreme, which is like head in the sand, or it's too complex, we don't know what to do, we're going to wait. And then there's the one in the middle, we want to flirt with, we know we want to be on the bus, but how can we get on the bus? What are the ways in which we can get on the bus?
Yeah, and getting on the bus is actually sometimes it's defensive, because if you don't get on the bus and do it, so you're thinking, this is going to cost me, and I make up the figures, 10 million.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, looking at the business benefit I'm going to take to the board, I reckon it's only going to save us 5. We can't do it because it costs 5. But actually, there's a defensive side here, because if other people in your industry, and I talk gaming, if other people in your industry are doing it, then they're going to be above you.
Yes.
So if you do nothing, you might drop 10. And so you're spending 10 to save 5. Well, they ain't going to get signed off. Well, actually, I'm spending 10 to save the 10 I was going to lose and create 5. Yeah, and so I think there's a defensive element that a lot of people are going to have to be really looking at with AI.
So one of my customers, exactly told this. Now they're worried about the ROI.
Yeah.
I said, what ROI are you talking about? He said it's not about the the return on investment. What they're worried is the risk of incarceration.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? It's like if you don't do this,
and
somebody else really does it, my business model is disrupted.
Absolutely, they're going to have your breakfast. They're going to come and eat your breakfast. Absolutely.
Correct. So that companies are fast getting into this bus, and they are looking at use cases. And in the past year, what we've seen is it's use cases more around productivity.
Yeah.
So how do I implement ChatGPT like LLM on my maintenance data?
Yeah.
Like I have an engineer who wants to query something, or I've got a sales guy who wants to write up an RFP, or I've got a procurement guy who wants to look at and create a procurement. So to help do things faster.
Yeah, right? I'm thinking AI within observability. Do you know the term observability? Yeah. That there, I mean, we see it because we're in this industry, in the IT industry, where, and it's always been the case, there's an issue, there's a slowdown somewhere, the database admins say it's a networking guy, the networking guy say it's the storage people say it's them, and actually it's the coder or whatever. And that stress, one, is costly. The time it takes to resolve is very costly. Pulling 10 managers into a meeting for an hour where they'll shout at each other is costly. And the impact on the client is very costly, can be, hit your brand. And so using AI within observability to see where issues lie is absolutely massive. Now the small language models where people are doing it within their own businesses, I totally get, But are we going to get to the stage where it's going to be like SaaS service? Where, because everyone needs to do this within banking, iGaming, whatever, that you'll be going and buying it from somebody and you're using a large language model all merged together more than specific. Do you think that will happen? Like, everyone uses SaaS for everything now.
So today you can, right? Yeah. So you can do the SaaS model from, OpenAI, right?
Yeah, you can.
Or you can go it from, Salesforce does something similar.
Yeah.
But what we are finding is the challenge with those is you are exposing your data.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you're exposing your data to that language model and they're learning it. Yeah. There's been this instance where I think in Korea, one of the customers, they used one of these SaaS applications for writing code, and there was a leakage of their code into that.
Right. Yeah.
Because when you are asking a question, it's you're learning about your business, right?
Yeah.
And if so, it's a very from a privacy perspective, from an IP protection perspective. So now companies have stopped people asking questions to these SaaS-based or we call it API-based models.
Yeah. Where they're going in.
So we run a meetup, and there was this guy who came and said, he's under disciplinary because he put his code into ChatGPT, right? Because it's easier. Because that's the other, writing code is very simple now, right? Or simpler.
Yeah, I was just saying, don't belittle half of my friends, and half the people who work for me. Yeah. Simple guys, remember that? Yeah. Mathai says.
But
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So it's, but then that's your IP you're putting in.
You are.
So companies are saying, do not put data pertaining to your organization in there.
Because the legal side of that is also challenging when you're using large language models with people who are sharing it. Who owns what is and that's going to be challenged year and year and year, isn't it? It's going to keep going up.
Some real court cases happening in the US around that concept.
And that's going to go on and on, isn't it?
But we think if you take these open source model and put it inside your perimeter, and which gives you not only full control, it also gives you a data privacy and gravity.
Yeah.
We did this analysis and it's 65% cheaper.
Yeah.
Compared to, it's from a cost perspective.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think it's going to be like the public cloud to an extent with here. I can see a lot of this being managed services where people are loading up for you near your data, and so you can have that as consumption, and they will lease it and they will then charge it back to you. And so you got 10,000 GPUs and they'll put it where you need it, and they call it a managed service more than cloud, because that'd be probably a third the cost of public cloud, and it's yours. Yeah. or you just buy the big chunks yourself, which is the CapEx model or whatever, or at least then they're the two ways that we're seeing everyone's talking about, and not using the public cloud bit, because the cost of the public cloud and where it sits, and the public cloud tends to be, to reduce the cost, multi-tenant, and then you've got an issue.
So I think it's actually very interesting you talked about this managed service provider. What's interesting in the market is you have these new service provider coming in into the market, right?
Yeah.
And they are coming into the market because they find a gap for these AI services in the market.
Yeah.
Because the public cloud is too expensive. And it's really not built.
No,
they're doing from database, email hosting, everything, right?
And SaaS.
AI just becomes a while. Generative AI has got very specific characteristics and networking requirements. So what you see, I don't know if you noticed, there was like CoreWeave. They announced $1 billion investment in UK. They're setting up data center. So HP partner with a company called Tiger Cloud. And they are investing, and there's like a slew of roughly new age service providers who are coming in this market, who is disrupting that public cloud model.
We met some when we went to Vegas at HPC. We met Kudo, people like that who have always been big in the data center side, but they are really looking at the managed services side, and they are talking $500 million as a drop. You've got Polar, people like this, who have really got great history, but they understand this market, and they know that it's a managed service for you. It's not multi-tenant.
Correct, and they offer a very performance optimized solution for the customer. Right, and that's what we are seeing in this market in terms of a lot of customers. They go and do their initial development in public cloud, and then they want to scale. The customer finds two issues. One, the cost of scaling in public cloud is like really expensive. Second is their data. 80% of the data is not there. So then my data is in the data center, but my data centers are not ready. My rack, I can only have 5 or 10 kilowatt racks. And this requires 25 kilowatts plus direct liquid cooling. So that's where these service providers come in and offer an alternative. And that's really
and these
taking
people
off
are
at the
class.
moment.
These people are, from what we're seeing, really, really strong. Some of the ESG side, sustainability, is amazing. Some of the things they're doing. When you're actually heating up swimming pools for the neighbourhood through your heat thing. So it's really trying to get down to that carbon neutral or even carbon negative.
Carbon negative.
Absolutely. You think, oh my God, this is going to be massive hits. But if you can do that and you can start lighting and heating the local area, then there's benefits out there. And I'm really excited by that, because the ESG side it is so big. It is so big. So there'll be lots of people who do this wrong. And I think a lot of people, so if you can talk about what you've seen with the customers with HPE, thinking I've got to do it, but I don't really want to be the first few because I want to see what everybody else is doing. And so there's a lot of people almost scared to do it, but they also know they have to do it. The board will say, what are we doing on AI? Like the board always said 15 years ago, where's our cloud strategy? And they'd go, and they wouldn't even know what the question is, really. Exactly. And so how are you seeing that? And
so it's actually funny. There was a London Stock Exchange did a survey among its members. And apparently the survey showed two things. One was 90% of the CEOs think they have a AI strategy. But in these firms, only 10% of the IT think they have something close to AI capability.
So there's not alignment there, is there?
And the board is, it's like the iPhone moment, right? the board, they are all using ChatGPT at home, and their kids are using it. They see the transformative benefits. And then now they're asking IT to go and implement it. So what we are seeing is people are doing the low-hanging fruits now. So that's what I call as
like the CX, the customer service,
chat bots. That's the thing.
Which you could almost buy as a SaaS, can't you?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And I think so that's the easy bit people are doing. But then, how do you make let's take a chat bot into that Antonio Nearly, right? And have conversation and engagement with your customer.
But I'm going to jump in here. The Antonio Nearly, CEO of HPE, there's a hologram.
Correct.
It looks like him, but it is. Yeah. But you could ask him questions. And you gave a good example, we were chatting earlier. The answers he gives are really important. And so there's an audit thing here, there's a compliance thing. So if you say to Antonio Nearly, are you going to support Biden or Trump? He might come out with an answer. Well, that's the last thing you need for HPE. So there's a danger of getting the wrong answers to your questions. So, and that is a data set problem, is it? Where would you see that problem lies? The data set for the LLMs or the small?
Correct. And that's where we say you need to have control, right? Of the whole stack, right? And that sometimes, and there was this instances like when it came in the newspaper, I forgot which company, the chat bot responded with rude answers.
Oh I saw that. Yeah.
And
that's rude to the customer. Yeah, that's right.
Exactly,
Yeah.
And
customer might have been deserving, but that doesn't matter, does it?
But doesn't matter exactly. Yeah. So you need to put these guardrails into your data, into what is the, if you get a question like this, you would politely decline to answer.
Right. Yeah. Instead of trying to think what's the best answer, I'm going to put it out there. Right. Okay.
And
is that challenging to do?
And it's you need to think about these things, right? Mm-hmm. When you're deploying these things, it's fine when you're deploying it internally. Yeah. But when you're deploying something externally, it suddenly becomes a face of your company.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Yeah. So those things are.
Or if you're talking financial guidance, because if you're a fund manager, and you're making decisions on stocks or whatever on the back of this information, you're looking after somebody else's money, somebody else's pension. If you're making the wrong decision, there's a compliance issue, isn't there? You might be taking too much risk for that customer who says, I don't like risk. So,
and I think from a customer perspective, it's important, right? They provide the right guidance, and the right answers. And if there's you talk about, the chatbot should not be giving an investment, guidance. Yeah. But if it's not trained not to do it, it might. And then put you in a compliance issue.
Yeah.
So what we are seeing is evolution in terms of customer experience. You talk about ChatGPT. The next is what we see is like code generation support, like Copilot, things like that, with the code generation. And then moving it in this journey, where it becomes more interesting is creating new products. What if I can create, let's take, if you're a bank, a particular savings product, depending specifically on people who are in the IT reselling industry, right? A financing thing. So we call it hyper personalization.
Right. Okay.
So it gives you the ability to personalize things for very specific group of people or individuals, and we're seeing that in like medicine, right? We talk about like in medicine, how can I get a personalized medicine specifically for me? A lot of the medical treatment is based on averages, right? It looks at, the average heartbeat is 72, per minute, but that might not be the average for you.
And actually, you make triage decisions on average.
Correct.
That's why a GP doesn't spot obscure. And they say, God, how didn't he spot it? Well, the chances are it was never going to be that. They're general practitioners.
Exactly.
So they're making decisions on average. I get that.
And that's like the real interesting piece of my work is working with, diagnostics. Yeah. Helping is a very interesting point, like radiologist.
Right,
get more insights out of the, the X-rays or the scan pictures to find out those, hidden things which is, not possible to detect. So that's, really taking it to the next level in terms of building out new products, new services. I was actually... There's a company, it's a really good one to see. It's called Flawless AI.
Right.
And what they do is they do real-time translation or dubbing of movies.
Right, okay.
So if you, I know you always watch foreign language movies. Yeah. You always find when it's dubbing, the lip movement. This
and company, it puts you off. It puts you off watching it.
Right?
It does, it does put you off watching it.
Check it out.
But it annoys my kids.
Yeah,
it does. Just annoys them that I'm watching it. Yeah.
So check it out in terms of how Flawless AI does this.
Does the lips as well.
Yeah, does the lips as well, right?
Yeah.
And suddenly, think about it. You're a Spanish filmmaker. Now the market has become global. You can immediately deliver one to the Japanese really market.
Yeah.
So this is where the promise of AI in terms of building new products are happening.
Right. I'll tell you what I'd like to do. I'm going to do with you an AI session number 2. Because we're talking about concepts and we're talking about actually some logistics on how it's done.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a guy who works for us who runs Malta for us, actually. Not like the Prime Minister, but the FGS side. And he did his thesis back in 2010 on AI. I don't think it was called AI then, but as you said, it's done from the 40s, and he puts people through university courses, master's courses on AI. So we know our stuff, and so I want to actually get out to the viewers here, and we've got used about 20,000, on how people are actually physically doing it. Because, and I'm going to jump back now, before we close off, one of the things with the CEOs, 90% thinking in the finance industry that the IT people have got AI under control and what their strategy is. AI is a facilitator here. The ideas have to come from the business. Yes, IT might go to the business with some ideas because everyone's got ideas,
Yeah.
But it's the business to go to IT to say, this is what we think would be good. Tell us how much it's going to cost us. Can it be done? How long is it going to take? And they can come back and say, with the help of you, with us, or whoever, this is going to cost this. This is how long it's going to take, and this is what we need from you. Yeah, and it's because I sit in information security. The business thinks it's because it's got information on it. It's IT's issue. It's not. It's the business's issue, and IT has to come from the business and be owned by the business. AI. Needs to be, doesn't it?
So actually, it's interesting you mentioned that. What we are seeing is the business is hiring a lot of these AI, we call them data scientists.
Yeah.
And they actually work in the business.
Right, yeah, brilliant.
To build out the, and this is not now, like maybe last year or year before, we ask our IT contact what you're doing in AI. They have no idea. While, inside the
business and analyst.
Correct.
Business analysts working within the AI side of the business. Yeah,
correct.
Absolutely.
And so that's what, because like you said, the innovation is when your business model meets the technology.
Absolutely.
And that's where we are seeing, a lot of customers and companies adopting. And then they come back with the request to ITA, I need this platform for deploying it. Mm-hmm. And so one of the big announcement at Discover was we announced this turnkey solution called Private Cloud for AI.
Yeah, I saw it, I saw it being announced in the Sphere.
In the Sphere.
Well, how nuts for the Sphere, my word. Yeah.
So, I mean, this is exactly to the challenge a lot of customers are asking us. We're being asked to build this. Is there a solution? So we work collaboratively with NVIDIA.
Yeah, but Justin, got his surname. What's his surname? The CEO of NVIDIA.
Oh, Jensen,
not Justin. I always call him Justin. Sorry about that. Jensen with the leather jacket.
Yes,
yeah,
Jensen.
Yeah. And that was really interesting. So they're actually putting stacks together.
Correct.
From small up to large.
Correct.
That you can just go and get. Yeah?
Yeah. And that's exactly to help IT teams to translate these. They can deploy
off the shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that comes with all the software, everything.
Correct. So
absolutely,
including the models, you can just download.
Because we're doing everything to become one of the first, probably the first, one of the first AI.
Okay.
Within an HP accredited. Because that was only announced 2 weeks ago.
Correct.
Yeah. And so I think.
And I think with your data background, right?
Yeah.
That's and that's the problem you're trying to fix.
Okay. Mathai, I think this has been fascinating. If you could come back in the next couple of weeks when you're walking past, and then we're going to do an event in Malta, we're just getting the date in September. Mm-hmm. I might need you to come over.
Sure. I think Lewis mentioned this. Just need to get the dates and stuff.
Right. So we'll be in Malta with HPE, talking AI, and this will be in end of September, start of October. We're just finalising the date. But watch the second episode that we'll be doing in the next week or two. All right then, thanks ever so much, everybody. Mathai,
thank you.
Always a pleasure. Never a chore. Thanks ever so much.
Brilliant. Cheers. Thank you.